walk. Whoa, whoa, you gotta walk. You gotta see what's going on all around. You gotta see. You gotta see what's going on all around. You gotta see. You gotta see folks beating onto the ground. You gotta see. Whoa, 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 you gotta see. You gotta care about those who can't move up. You gotta care. You got to care about those ain't got no luck. You gotta care. You gotta care for those who can't join the club. You gotta feel that freedom is all used up. You gotta care. Whoa, you gotta care. You gotta know that this is what's got to change. You gotta know. You gotta know that this just must be changed. You gotta know. You gotta know the path that you have to take. Know the changes that we gotta make. You gotta know. Whoa, whoa, you gotta know. You gotta do all this, but there's one more thing. You gotta get off your duff, make it rain. You gotta know. Whoa, whoa, you gotta know. Whoa, whoa, you gotta know. Whoa, 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 you gotta know. Whoa, whoa, you gotta know. You got to know. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, choir, for that song that Gary wrote. Good morning and welcome to Pacific Unitarian. My name, Leanne Hart. I will serve as your worship associate today. We represent progressive religious thought here in the South Bay. We welcome people of all creeds, races, sexual orientations, and gender identities. We honor the Tongva people on whose tribal land this sanctuary stands today. If you are new, we have childcare for preschoolers and religious education for the school-aged children. Religious education begins after the story for all ages. We invite everyone to join us for brunch on the patio. A few more announcements. We are really excited today because guess what? Today is the 100th anniversary of the UU tradition of flower communion. We celebrate this tradition today, joining congregations from around the country. We will also celebrate our new members and remember those who have passed away in the last year. Today is also important because it is the PUC's annual congregational meeting. It will be held directly after the service, and we need voting members to attend so we can vote on some important items of business. As you probably know, this winter's rains did us in. Well, at least our roof. Starting tomorrow, June 5th through June 16th, we will have workers on site to replace the roof. All in-person activities from June 7th to June 10th are canceled. We we'll hold Sunday service next week as usual. Next weekend, however, a lot of people won't be here because they're going to be up at Camp de Benneville Pines for the weekend. There's Andy and Janet right there. Any last-minute questions? You can see them today. Yeah, very good. PUC's annual auction is coming around the corner. It is on Saturday, June 24th at 5. Come to the auction table today to pick up your catalog. There is a printed catalog for each household. And on July 2nd, you will have an opportunity to share a favorite poem with the congregation. Our service that day will feature Poetic Musings, Life is But a Dream. Please see me to sign up to be part of that. Well, if that's not enough, we have a special announcement from the board. Jill, won't you come up?
Thank you. Hi, it's great to see all you people from this angle. It looks really good. Happy group. Anyway, I've been the secretary of the board this year, and we, as the board, wanted to recognize the person who's been our president all year. It's Robin Earhart. If she would come up. She doesn't know about this, but there you go. And here's some flowers. Thank you. She's really worked really hard. It's been a busy year, and of course we're going to get 2 new board members at the meeting that will be voted on today. And I just want to say, if you want to know how this church works, next year when they ask for someone who wants to run for the board, take a chance, because it's really gives you a new insight into what's going on around here. Anyway, thank you, Robin. You've been wonderful. And I appreciate for all you did for me.
Now it is time for our chalice lighting. Let us light our chalice today as we think of flowers. This poem, called Praying, from Mary Oliver. It doesn't have to be the blue iris. It could be a weed from a vacant lot or a few small stones. Just pay attention, then patch a few words together. Don't try to make it elaborate. This is not a contest, but the doorway into thanks and a silence into which another voice may come.
Thank you, Leanne. The blue irises. Good morning, everyone. My name is Chloe Briede, and I'm the interim minister here at Pacific Unitarian Church. I'm really excited because you can see the goats this morning. Right. If you haven't seen them yet, you can just go up to the window, maybe after service, and take a look at them. They're the cutest things on earth, so it is such a delight to have goats. I also am, as we're talking about the roof, I just wanted to give my thanks to our administrator, Gabby. She has really been instrumental in getting that roof put on our building. She's probably sitting at her desk right now, but just a big thank you to her. Today is, as Leanne said, the 100th anniversary of the Unitarian Universalist Flower Communion or Flower Ceremony. And I want to do a little something different for the opening words this morning. I want to tell you the story of the first flower communion as written by Laurel Whitehouse. Norbert Chopbuck was born 153 years ago in June of 1870. He grew up in a troubled time in Europe During World War I, his safety was threatened because he spoke out against those who tried to restrict the freedom of worship. So Chapek and his wife came to America, where Chapek discovered Unitarianism and became a Unitarian minister. Once World War I ended, Reverend Chapek wanted to return to share his love of Unitarianism with the people of his country, which was now the newly created country of Czechoslovakia. He returned to the city of Prague in 1921 and started a brand new church, which grew steadily to more and more people who came to listen to Reverend Chapek's sermons. The war had left many miseries and a hard life for the people of Prague. Families had been broken up, businesses had been ruined, and many of his congregants didn't even have enough money to meet their own needs. Unitarianism was new to Czechoslovakia, and the worship service was unlike ours today. There were no stories or music, and the sermons were very, very, very long. The church building was plain and cold in the bitter winters. Still, people came because they were eager for worship, spirituality, connection, and hope as they tried to rebuild their lives. Reverend Chapek knew that the people who came to hear his sermons were learning about Unitarianism and building a new faith together. But he also knew that people continued to struggle even 5 years after the war. He knew the weariness of the troubles and sadness they carried, and how his people yearned for a sense of connection and possibility. He went for a walk along the river Vltava, which winds through Prague, and he slowly crossed one of the many bridges over the river. He began to think about how to lift the spirits of his congregation. He wanted them to have hope. Reverend Chapek saw a flower growing in the bare, scruffed earth near the edge of the river. The beauty and the bravery of that little blossom lifted his spirits. He wanted to share that uplifted feeling with his congregation. But how? His church had no altar flowers or gardens around it. Reverend Chapek thought, and as he walked, but he just didn't have any ideas of how to share that feeling that the flower had given him. He came along a small child from his congregation who smiled at him and held up a flower to give to him. Reverend Chapek took it and smiled back with a happy heart and realized in that moment how to spread this warm feeling to his church members. It was spring, and there were flowers growing everywhere in Prague, in the parks, along the river, even in the rubble left from war. Reverend Chapek spread word through his congregation to bring a flower to worship service that next Sunday. Everyone did show up with a flower. There were stems of white daisy like chamomile, yellow many-petaled leopard bane, the bright pink rockets of sky kelman, plump yellow clusters of primrose, fuzzy pink spires of hens and chicks, and deep blue gentians, and even pinky purple pasque flowers, and of course, many roses, which were the national flower of Czechoslovakia. So on June 4th, 1923, the day after Chapek's 53rd birthday and 100 years ago today, that plain church was bustling with colorful clusters of flowers, each uniquely beautiful, tall, short, spiky, round, scented, and vibrant. And the uniquely beautiful faces of the congregants were also bursting with smiles of warmth and hope as they felt the powerful force of growth and possibility in nature and in themselves. Reverend Chopik called the feeling the hidden cry for harmony with the infinite that each person feels inside. At the end of the service that day, when they chose a flower to take home, those seeds of hope and harmony and fellowship went with them and began to grow in their hearts and spirits. This morning, our opening hymn is called Dazzling Bouquet. And this is a new hymn to you all, and it's kind of one of my favorites. It's really catchy. I've been singing it all week. And I am really grateful for the choir for helping us learn this hymn. So, Dazzling Bouquet. You're invited to stand as you're willing and able.
Here we go. Mine is the church where everybody's welcome. I know it's true 'cause I got through the door. We are a dazzling bouquet of every kind of flower. Jump in the vase 'cause we've got space for more. Come here, all you 6-foot gladiolas. Come, all you purple lilacs shining bright. Come, let us all bloom together in one garden. A carnival of fragrance and delight. Mine is the church. Mine is the church where everybody's welcome. I know it's true 'cause I got through the door. We are a dazzling bouquet of every kind of garden. Jump in the vase 'cause we've got space for more. We don't simply tolerate each other. We ask and tell, we don't just turn away. We give attention to every bud and blossom. Let every face come grace the grand bouquet. Mine is the church. Mine is the church where everybody's welcome. I know it's true 'cause I've got through the door. We are a dazzling bouquet of every kind of flower. Jump in the vase 'cause we've got space for more.
Awesome, Chloe. That was so cute. Oh, good morning, everybody. Thank you. Can I have the flowers and all the school-age children? Yeah, thank you. Oh, Giorgio. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm Jewel. I am the Multicultural Outreach Religious Education Director for, after today, 2 more Sundays. Yeah, I have 2 more Sundays, and we're going to go out with a blues band. I don't think you mentioned that, Leanne. Blues Sunday on June 18th, Juneteenth, and Father's Day. Yeah, a lot of fun happening that day. So, okay. Well, happy 100th Flower Communion. Sorry, I said something sad, and now I'm looking at the saddest faces. Okay, whew. So I'm going to help you guys understand a word if you don't already know what it means. Probably Alex does. So who knows what fellowship means? Go ahead.
It's like a grouping together to like stand together to do something. Yeah.
All right, group together, got it. So it means being in a community of shared interests. That's one way to say it. And the word fellowship, you'll like this. The word fellowship comes from the Greek word koinonia. Name your doll baby, koinonia. It means holding something in common. So when we say fellowship at church, it's a way of saying how we participate with each other. So we choose to be here together because we have our faith in common, right? This morning, Minister Chloe told us the history of why our flower communion service is a special way we practice our faith. And in the story, she talked about how Reverend Chapik was trying to bring the feeling to the congregation, trying to remind them that on the first flower communion, through sharing, he wanted to help the congregation remember to connect to the feeling of hope and harmony and fellowship. So let's center ourselves. You with me, Lily, okay? Okay. So let's center ourselves by closing our eyes. Okay, take a deep cleansing breath in and out. Let your body and your mind find a peaceful place inside you. And with your inner eye, imagine yourself holding a beautiful flower and ask yourself, what gifts do I bring to this congregation? What gifts do I bring to this congregation? Take one more breath. Slowly open your eyes. Any thoughts you want to share on your gifts that you bring? Who has an idea? I have an idea. So today is my last Sunday with the Garcias and the Damges because they're going to be away at camp next week, and then they are going on vacation, so they won't be here for Father's Day. So I want to celebrate the unique gifts that each of you have brought to me in our fellowship while we've been together. And our routine in RE is we go youngest to oldest. So I'm going to start with the two youngest. Come on, join us, sis. Come up here. Liv, you don't want to come up here? Just pass it to Liv. Liv and Ellie, I picked these flowers out for you because your gifts to me are, you guys are so bright and sunshiny and make me so happy. And I thank Joey and Megan for sharing their exceptional children with me. These kids are so deep. You have no idea. They have just been such a privilege and a joy. And then next is Kai. Giorgio, I picked out this one for you because it is full of layers and it's fancy. Come tell everybody your whole name. Giorgio Valentin Galante. I laugh at this kid's name every week because he's just so fabulous and his mom just set him up to win in life. And you've been so much fun. Thank you for coming. And the next is Kai. Kai. This is an Alstroemeria lily. So the colors and the brightness and its vibrance reminded me of you. You've been so much fun. And you're a kind of lily because you're very similar to Lily, but you're also really different. And I just wish your life to be so good. And if you're even half as fabulous as your dad and such a good man, you'll just be amazing as you grow up. Okay, who is next is Rhiannon. This is Rhiannon. So Rhiannon, I picked this out for you. In a room full of strong voices and personalities, Rhiannon is very graceful and delicate and just so beautiful and graceful. Makes me a little emotional, sorry. So I picked that out because although Rhiannon is softer than some of the other kids and personalities, she has a lot of layers and lots of different shades to Rhiannon, lots of depth and complexity in her. She's often quiet and soft, but yeah, just really beautiful. So thank you for your fellowship, Rhiannon. Next is Alex Lily. Oh, that's right, because you're the driver. Lily, no shock, it's a lily. Okay, so I picked that because it's vibrant, like you, and it kind of goes with Kai. And I wanted it to have flowers that were becoming because I see everything that you're becoming and you're so powerful and strong. And I just want you to always remember that you have a responsibility because you have that big personality to be in balance. And I just thank you so much for being who you've been, and I'm just so proud of you. Yeah. And whenever I hear brown skin girl, I'm always going to think of you. And when I hear Rhiannon, I'm always going to think of you dancing. Okay, now Alex. Alex, I picked you out one without colors. Because you are everything. So some people consider white to be a color because white comprises all hues on the spectrum. And that's kind of you. You're so, look at how busy that thing is. And it's just full of so much pieces and knowledge. And that's how I see you, is that you're kind of a blank slate that is just going to take this life and take in every kind of color and decide how you're going to put it all together. Look at her outfit alone. Like, proves my point. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Bye, Lucy. So, Lucy, thank you for your fellowship. And today we are planting Lucy's friendship flowers from her naming ceremony out. We're bearing our time capsule, and we're planting Lucy's flowers on top, and Barbara Marriott's going to help us with that today. So thank you guys we're going to leave these for our friends that didn't come today. And to spread more of the joy and harmony with the infinite that Reverend Chopik described, we can let everybody know who did not attend service today. We can just text them and send them a flower emoji and tell them happy 100th flower communion. All right. Come on, you guys got me emotional. Let's go play. Love y'all.
Today we are celebrating our congregation. We're celebrating our 100-year tradition of flower communion, and we are celebrating PUC's new members. I think it's fitting on this Sunday, as we celebrate our wonderful bouquet of members, that we honor those who passed away this last year in service. I'm going to ring our bell and then read their names. Jim Michaels. Barbara Gleghorn. Bill Nips. Betty Saunders. Stuart Scudder. Marion Monet. Dick Peterson. Richard Colberry. and Vic Peda. We are so grateful for these folks who've contributed to our awesome bouquet here at PUC over the last almost 100 years. Even though we've been together for 59 years as a congregation, but almost 60 years as a congregation, but these folks really have contributed years and years beyond that to our community. So we lift up their names and their memories. And I invite you into a time of prayer with me. You can center yourselves, putting your feet on the floor if you wish, and settling into your place. And I invite you to take a few deep breaths, breathing in and out. And in and out. This is a prayer inspired by the Reverend Christine Dance. We pray, Spirit of life, Spirit of love, that which is held in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. Our lives are like flowers. Perhaps we gather flowers for our house or our hearts. We collect beautiful moments, splendid joys, delightful experiences, laughter and smiles. We celebrate the beauty of these precious, beautiful flowers and the memories we hold dear. But most flowers fall off their branches at the end of the season. It is inevitable that they die. So it is with our lives. There are times when our flowers wilt and die, and we create space for the sorrow of our lives, the challenges, the disappointments, the sadness, and the struggles. We make space to honor and mourn and cry for the ones we have loved. And there are times when we wait for flowers to return, the liminal space in between when our lives are in transition, the changes that hold both excitement and uncertainty. Thus are the seasons of our lives, like flowers, blooming, full in their glory, and then leaving us into the ground. We pray, let us have hope that our lives will return to their full beauty soon. For in all of our seasons, we rely on the strength of our community, our faith, and our confidence that we are all a part of the cycle of life and love that endures. Join me for a moment of silence as we contemplate the flowers of our lives. Amen. And now is a time for us to share candles of joys and sorrow. So if you have a candle of joy or sorrow to share with us today, sure.
I light this final candle for all the unspoken joys and sorrows.
The nicest thing came to me on this morning as I awoke to greet the coming dawn. The sun was softly shining in the garden. I felt in love with everything and everyone. Then I wish that I could come back as a flower, as a flower, as a flower. Oh, I wish that I could come back as a flower, as a flower, to spread the sweetness of love, to spread the sweetness of love. The dew was softly making love to many. A rainbow sweetly kissed the air. The sun was softly shining in the garden. I felt such love everywhere. Then I wish that I could come back as a flower, as a flower, as a flower. Oh, I wish that I could come back as a flower, as a flower, to spread the sweetness of love. Oh, I wish that I could come back as a flower, as a flower, as a flower. How I wish that I could come back as a flower to spread the sweetness of love, the sweetness of love. I wish, I wish, I wish I was a flower. Flower to spread the sweetness of love. I wish I was a flower. A flower to love.
Thank you, Linda. Wow. Today, we welcome into membership of Pacific Unitarian Universalist Church people who have recently chosen to join our community of faith. We are a free faith community. Becoming a member is a choice, a personal and spiritual decision, and membership comes with special rights and with responsibilities. Joining our fellowship does not mean subscribing to a creed, but it does mean a serious commitment. Joining in our congregational covenant. To dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, to help one another. Membership means having the rights to vote on congregational decisions, and it also means the responsibility of being a steward, of safeguarding the health of the congregation as a whole, so that it is here for others in the future. A congregation is a moving, living, changing thing. Anytime new people join, we have the opportunity to grow together, to share and receive new ideas, new energy, and new voices. Each of these people bring unique experiences and perspectives to our community, and we are so grateful for that. Would all the new members please join me up here with the chair of the Board of Trustees, Robin, and our membership committee chair, Melissa. And if our members would line up here where Robin's showing you.
Isn't that amazing? And we're missing 3. I'm so proud of us. Okay. Will the present members of Pacific Unitarian Universalist Church welcome these beautiful people into our congregation? Will you reach out to them in fellowship, including them in our activities? Reach out to them in friendship, including them in our activities and fellowship. Will you be open to their unique gifts and perspectives? Will you extend a warm welcome to each of them, remembering that each of us was once a new member? Yes. There's actually a part for us all to read, but okay. But yes serves just fine. Simple but effective.
I charge you as new members to grow in your faith. More importantly, I charge you to find and share your special gifts with us. Ours is a shared ministry with each of us having a crucial role to play. We need you. We need your energy and your ideas. Give generously of yourselves, and your rewards will be great.
It is a joy to welcome each of you into our community of memory and hope. Will you, as new members, walk together with us, sharing the joys and responsibilities of membership? If you will, say yes. Yes. Great. Please accept our congregation's gifts and warm welcome. Each of you brings light, vitality, and renewal to our community. Thank you for officially becoming part of us.
Together we form a beacon of hope to each other and our world. May your light shine bright among us for many years to come. Welcome to Pacific Unitarian Universalist Church. Congratulations.
So now I'm going to read some bios of all the new members. And as I'm reading them, they can come forward and sign the membership book and get some swag. And so we have some name tags as well. So I'm going to start. Okay. I'm going to start with Terry Apodaca. And Terry, why don't you come on over and you can sign. Can you help her with the... Terry Apodaca became a new member last summer. You may have seen her on her scooter. Pre-retirement, she taught adult education for LAUSD at several campuses and occupational centers. You want to sign the... She taught English as a second language and did school counseling. Terry wrote 2 teleplays for Gardena Public Access TV and wrote columns for the Daily Breeze. This year, she is president of Las Vecinas, a women's philanthropic group in Palos Verde. She has 1 daughter and has lived in the South Bay for her entire life. She's interested in joining the current events discussion group. Welcome, Terry. Next, we have Jack and Laura Faulkner Becker. Jack and Laura Faulkner Becker come to us from a UU fellowship in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. They live in Lomita, having moved to the area to be closer to their daughter and grandchildren. Jack is a retired public reference librarian. He also has enjoyed tutoring ESL and teaching U.S. history at a community college in Illinois. Laura has worked as a Montessori preschool instructor, a tutor at an alternative school, a volunteer for Meals on Wheels and at the local hospital, and as a clerk at several bookstores. Laura was quite active in her previous churches, playing various roles such as secretary, board member, ministerial liaison, as well as member of both search and worship committees. Laura and Jack both enjoy playing guitar and singing folk songs. They love politics and the environment, as well as reading books and talking with other people about their lives, so they are excited about joining a few of our many groups. Welcome, Jack and Laura. Next, we have Joey and Megan Brennan, and Megan is away for a work trip. So Joey, welcome. They're both former Catholics who are happy to find a liberal religious home at PUC for themselves and their 3 children, Eliana, age 8, Olivia, age 6, and Michael, age 3. The 2 red-haired girls are... Joey works for a company that does custom staging and automation for rock concerts and sporting events, including the yearly halftime show for the Super Bowl. Megan works for the California YMCA. She coordinates the youth and government programs, including Model Legislature and Court and the Model UN program. Although they enjoy coming every Sunday, they're a busy family. Eliana is in swim class, Olivia does Irish dancing, and stay tuned for Michael's exploits. Bob Green. Yay, Bob Green. Bob has been attending PUC since last fall. He lives in Gardena. Over the course of his career, Bob has been a Marine and a deputy sheriff. Now he is a real estate broker who specializes in property management. He enjoys travel, gardening, and following current events. He has joined a Chalice group and has an interest in both the current events and men's groups. Welcome, Bob. Next, we have Eric Hayes. Eric first attended PUC decades ago with Jill Mick and her parents, Bill and Marianne Mick. He loved PUC, but it was geographically undesirable. He lived in Tennessee. After Eric and Jill moved to Rancho Palos Verde, Jennifer Hoka invited them to help at the annual auction in 2016. They've been volunteering since, primarily preparing lunch with top chefs George, John, Margot, and Naresh. Welcome, Eric. Alex is on a trip, but Alex Kay, many of you have already met. She's active in the Social Justice Committee and the Multicultural Transformation Team. As a software engineer in the tech industry, she also hopes to help advertise our events on our website. Alex came to California from Indonesia to attend college in 1998. In her free time, she likes to crochet, dabble in aerial sling, and walk her very energetic Samoyed husky named Cream. Christine Kligman. Christine joins us from St. Petersburg, Florida, where she was an itinerant teacher of the visually impaired. She moved to Palos Verde to live closer to her family and grandchildren. She's still settling in, but already she volunteers at her granddaughter's school once a week, has joined the Peninsula Seniors and our own book club at PUC. She loves traveling, dog walking, and going to the movies, and is looking forward to joining more groups at our church. Welcome, Christine. Next we have Diana Levada, and she'll be here a little bit later. You'll see what she's doing. It is easy to recognize Diana Levada because she always wears a flower in her hair. She grew up in Torrance and lived away for many years. She moved back to the area from Davis to be a support to her family and has faced many losses since then. She is a nature, travel, and music lover who's found singing in the PUC choir to be deeply meaningful and healing. Diana is also drawn to PUC as a place of spirituality and peace in the busy city life of Greater LA. And here is the little secret of where she is. She's a handbell ringer, so sometimes she goes to other churches just so she can be part of their handbell choir. So she'll be here later. Greet her on the patio. Max Nunez. Welcome, Max. He's a decorated Vietnam vet with a Purple Heart. He was a Vietnamese English language interpreter for the Marine Corps. He built schools, clinics, and even repaired a Buddhist temple. Max is also a retired psychotherapist who worked 30 years for the LA County Department of Mental Health. He lives in Torrance and is part of the Senior Covenant group, the men's group, the Thursday lunch group, and a chalice circle here at PUC. Welcome, Max. Next we have Sheila Raymond. Sheila joins us from Tapestry, a UU congregation in South Orange County. She lives in San Pedro and moved to the area to be near her family. She has 3 young adult grandchildren and is involved in PFLAG as an ally and in Relay for Life as a cancer survivor. She's currently part of the Senior Covenant group and is excited to be more involved as she enjoys helping out with events. Welcome, Sheila. Next we have Ben and Pat Testa. Ben and Pat come to us from the Unitarian Fellowship in Huntington, Long Island. They moved to the South Bay to be closer to their 2 grown sons and 2 grandchildren, but they arrived during COVID, which made it hard to meet people. Luckily, they found their way to our PUC book club on Zoom. Lucky me. Now we're back in person. Ben and Pat continue to attend the book club, but also the current events discussion group, the Senior Covenant group, as well as a chalice group. Pat is always also interested in seekers and environmental activism. Pat is definitely passionate about the environment. Welcome, Ben and Pat. And last but definitely not least, Kiki Wiley. Almost from the very first day that Jabbar introduced her to our church, Kiki threw herself into many PUC activities. She's involved in the book club and the social justice committee. She designed their amazing 7 Principles in Action t-shirts to wear for protests, rallies, and marches. She has taught our kids in RE about ancient equinox rituals and led our winter solstice celebration. She will be giving a talk from the pulpit on June 25th, inspired by the summer solstice. When she's not busy at church, she facilitates outdoor community yoga through the South Bay and teaches positive psychology online for graduate students at Fielding University. Welcome, Kiki. Thank you so much to all our new members for participating in this, and we're so excited to have all of you.
Our centering hymn this morning is called Sacred Garden, and you're invited to stay in your seats and sing along with us.
Now is time for our offertory. Please give generously. After all, we need to pay for that new roof. Please join me in reciting the affirmation of gratitude that you see on the screen behind me. Let us be grateful when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. Let us be grateful for all those who share their gifts, for we are enriched by their giving. Let us also be grateful even for our needs, so that we may experience the generosity of others.
If you've been around our church or another Unitarian Universalist church around this time of year before, you've probably heard the story of Flower Communion, the one I told at the beginning. Norbert Čapek wandering the streets of Prague and creating a ceremony of beauty and unity. The Czech Unitarian Church was originally called the Free Fellowship, and at the time was one of the largest Unitarian churches in the world. Čapek believed in the high potential of human development and the need for a religious faith that created unity. In his writings, you see criticism of the sins of the Catholic and Orthodox churches and hope that after World War I, hope for a Czechoslovakia that values progress and the unity of its people. Here's the first part of a confession Čapek wrote. I believe in a human, in his or her unexpressed value and the capability of unlimited evolution. I believe that any societal systems are originated by people, are for use by people, and can be changed by people if they do not serve their needs anymore and delay their progress. I believe we need new, better people for creating a new, better society. Doesn't that feel familiar? The capacity for humans to do better, to create change, to choose leaders who create the best possible society. This is another part of his confession that I liked. I respect every honest conviction, and in everybody I first see a human regardless of his or her religion or other affiliations. Much like our modern church, the Czech Free Fellowship drew people beyond a traditional Christian background, including atheists. Čapek, despite proclaiming a belief in God and a following for Jesus, was not exclusive or doctrinal. Instead, he wanted a church that represented the unity of humans and the great potential for progress and positive change. He was truly a progressive Unitarian. Čapek's flower communion was created as a ritual that would be accessible to all beliefs, to anyone who was drawn to the church. This is what he said flower communion was meant to symbolize. First, each of us is symbolized in a flower. Second, flowers together in a vase symbolize fellowship, our commonality. Third, the way, how we brought and carried flowers away, symbolizes volunteerism, freedom. And fourth and finally, when you leave this meeting in peace and without rush, each of you takes a blossom out of the bunch of flowers without choosing, a sign that you do not pick who you want to accept as your brother and sister. A ceremony that symbolized individuality, fellowship, unity, freedom, and tolerance. These days, we tend to let folks pick their flower, but it's an interesting concept, not picking who you accept or not, but accepting everyone as siblings in this world. Sadly, Hitler rose to power, and the situation in Czechoslovakia worsened. The country finally fell to the Nazis in March of 1939. Čapek received an offer from the then president of the Unitarian Association, Frederick May Elliott. Elliott offered to bring Čapek back to the United States to save his life. Čapek wrote back, "As to the actual plan, I must say that my conscience would make me very unhappy if I were compelled to desert my people in these days. I therefore feel I cannot leave my people no matter what suffering may be involved." You can probably predict how this story ends. Čapek didn't leave his people behind. He kept preaching the values we heard symbolized in his flower communion. He was transported to Dachau and murdered by the Nazis on October 30th, 1942. The Reverend Peter Shamoyski has written extensively on Čapek and says that he would not like to be considered a martyr or a saint for Unitarian Universalism. Instead, Shamoyski asks us to remember him with gratitude for his work and the ideals he taught us, those ideals of unity, of people, of fellowship, of freedom, and of tolerance of anyone who walked into that church. So, beloveds, today I invite you to do that, to partake in this flower communion as a joyful exercise of continuing his ideals, of continuing those ideals. Continuing those ideals with gratitude for everything he taught us and gratitude for this church that brings us together today. So in honor of Čapek and in gratitude, let us begin our flower communion. Leanne, would you join me in leading? The ritual is quite simple. As many of you have done this morning, you may have brought a flower of your choice and placed it in our vases. In a moment, we will consecrate these flowers, identify them for a special moment and purpose. Bless and acknowledge these gifts of nature. Then you will prayerfully choose and take a flower you did not bring in a ritual of giving and receiving. If you didn't bring a flower this morning, don't worry. There are more than enough for everyone.
Flowers are a symbol of diversity, the free gifts of nature, the power of life, the beauty of the world, and nature's quiet and faithful dignity. As no two flowers are alike, so no two people are alike. Yet together, the different flowers form a bouquet that is not without its thorns.
A congregation like a bouquet would not be the same without the unique additions of each individual flower. And thus it is with our church community. You would not be who you are without each and every one present. You are part of what makes this church community such a beautiful bouquet. So before we begin, we will bless our flowers with Chopik's translated words. So if you would join me in the spirit of prayer and blessing. In the name of providence, which implants in the hearts of the seed the future of flowers, and which implants in our hearts the unrest which we will not be quenched till people live lovingly with each other, we bless these flowers. In the name of the highest in which we move and take our being, and in the name of the deepest, which makes father, mother, sister, brother, lover, loner, who they are, we bless these flowers. In the name of the prophets and sages who sacrificed their lives to hasten the coming of the reign of mutual respect, we bless these flowers. Let us sincerely renew our resolution to be brothers, sisters, and siblings, regardless of the barriers which estrange. May these flowers be for us the sign of the glory and the variety in which we aspire, knowing that we are one family of spirit and nature. In this holy resolve, may we be strengthened by the spirit of love, that we ourselves may bloom in the splendor of joyful life, and endeavor to be even more whole in our day.
I invite each person to come forward and take a flower other than the one you brought. As you do, you may be aware of the gift of beauty of the flower. You may slowly form 2 lines on each side of the sanctuary and then move back towards the center aisle, through the center aisle to your seat.
Once you arrive at our flower communion altar, take your time. See and feel the presence of this community and of the beauty of nature around you. If you prefer to remain in your seats for this, please raise your hand and we'll bring a flower to you. And if you're online with us this morning, consider where you find beauty in the world, and perhaps if you have a flower at home, bring it close. Let our flower communion begin. If you didn't get a flower and you'd like one, give us a wave. Anybody still need a flower? Okay. Beloveds, may these flowers bless you with the reminder of beauty, community, fellowship, and unity in such a time as this. So take your flowers and be blessed. And we're going to go ahead and go into our closing words, I think.
In closing, let us remember that this church is dedicated to the proposition that behind all of our differences and beneath all of our diversity, there is a unity that binds us and forever holds us together in spite of time and death and the space between the stars. We pause in silent witness to that unity.
May the blessing of love be upon you. May love's peace abide with you. May love's presence illuminate your hearts, now and forevermore. So be it. Amen, shalom, salam, namaste, and blessed be. And now our service truly begins.
This tune is called Power Flower by Stevie Wonder.
I live outside the
That was gorgeous. Okay, so new members, if you could gather around the cake, we're going to take a celebratory photo. And then don't go too far, everyone, because we have our annual meeting. We meet twice a year to get information, and we're going to have a vote. And I will explain all the ballot measures. We have 5 very important ones. So don't go too far after you eat, and we'll come back in here. Thanks.
You might even bring your food in here so we can get